Today, my friends, I'm here to teach you guys the mass miner with the siege barrack. This strategy is still really simple and it's a lot easier thanks to the siege barrack and also the hog riders from that siege barrack. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to use mass miner with the brand new siege barrack. So as I said, we're going to be taking a look at miners with the siege barrack, and we're going to mainly look at two different miner attacks. Pure mass miner and also the queen walk mass miner, both using the siege barrack. So let's teach you guys a few things with the siege barrack that you need to know. For one, the siege barrack is 100% a really good siege for these type of attacks. If you guys saw the Mecha smash video that I did at Town Hall 11 using the siege barrack, then that is a really good video topic talking about the siege barrack and also how to use it in something that's a little bit different. So if you're looking for a strategy like that, then I'm going to leave it as a card right here, so feel free to go check it out. But in this video, we're going to obviously be covering miners, and miners are really fun to farm with. They're really fun to trophy push with, and obviously they're really good at war too. But with the siege barrack, it makes it just that tad bit easier to create the funnel for the miners to go in. So let's talk about that. So when you're using a mass miner, you're looking for easy pathing on the base, whether that be creating it artificially or if it's naturally there. So for instance, by taking a look at this base design, it's a pretty straightforward base design right here. As long as we set the funnel here and set the funnel here, that's all we have to do. And this is kind of what we're looking for here. Lanes that we can just go into. We want to keep a lot of the miners in the core of the base. That's going to be our main objective. One thing, though, to deal with is going to be the enemy CC. So there could be other versions of the mass miner, like Electro mass miner, or something similar to that, where you can lure out the CC if it's a damaged CC and take it out. Now, sometimes, if you guys want to see an Electro mass miner video, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to bring that to you guys. But with this attack, what we really want to make sure that we're doing is we are creating both sides of the funnel, and then we have our miners going in. This base is semi-symmetrical, so it does make it a little bit easier for us to kind of see where we would want to hit from. It may not be entirely, but as long as we have a lane that we're targeting, then this gives us easy pathing for our miners as we go into the base. And that's about it. Now, when we're doing the funnel with this, we want to make sure that we're using a Sui hero, which is going to be the king and queen on one side, getting value from that side from the outside. And then we have the siege barrack going in and clearing this portion out, meaning that we're going to be getting a lot of this, and with the Sui hero and maybe a couple wizards, we're going to get rid of these buildings down up here, meaning that what's going to happen is we're going to see the miners trickling onto these buildings here before moving into the base. Notice that we are going against some multi-infernos, but because we're going into them so early, we don't have to deal with them. However, obviously, of course, the eagle is going to be on the other side, but it's not always a really difficult thing to get through. So just keep that in mind. But with this attack, it's a very simple one, and using the siege barrack is really good. And this is maybe something that you guys want to see a little bit more, but I would say siege barrack is probably one of the stronger siege machines right now in the game, due to just allowing you to create a funnel really easy and then have hogs there to help as well. It's just a really good siege in general, as long as you're doing your attack right and you know how to use it. Now, if you see from both sides, we are creating the funnel. Just this elixir storage just has a little bit of health left, meaning that we'll drop in a few miners there on that side. But take a look at all the wizards right behind that Mecha, allowing them to get a lot of funneling value from the base. Now, as we send in the miners, we have the Grand Warden going in with them. Now, you may be asking, why did we pop the Grand Warden's ability really early? Mainly, it's because we don't want to take a lot of heavy fire, especially from the eagle. And we're not going towards the eagle, meaning that we should be popping the Grand Warden ability earlier rather than later. So we want to make sure that they are staying protected. You'll notice that there is a Lava Hound CC, so this is most of the time going to be the CC that you want to attack from. Well, I guess the CC that is definitely more preferred to attack, but other than that, you should be able to use some other versions of Mass Miner in order to completely destroy any base. So there are a couple different versions, but you can see with the heal spell placement, healing them in groups, very similar to hogs, but making sure that you are getting the value that is required with the miners is going to be a huge plus for you. So I would say 100%, this is definitely something that you guys should try to practice in FCs, and also just try it out in general in war. If you're a really big fan of miners, and if you farm with miners, then this is going to be a lot better than the wall wrecker, in my personal opinion. I just think that it offers more value for the funnel. You get wizards, and also you get hogs for that sort of support with the miners. But let's go ahead and take a look at another example with pure mass miner. So in this example here, you'll notice that there is a golem within our Sui hero. Now, why is this? Well, notice that we are going to be going against the enemy heroes along with a couple more of heavy fire. This is really where a golem can be used in this case. Golems are really good at tanking, and using them as part of a sort of allowing them to be able to get some tanking value is always going to be extremely important. We're able to deal with an enemy CC like this, especially if it's somewhat lurable. As you can see here, it isn't lurable, but because they took out the Tesla, it is going to be lurable here. Now, once we've gotten the CC down, so that's definitely something to sort of pay attention to, as you want to make sure that you are getting value from your attack by making sure that you can kill off the enemy CC. Now you can see that the witch is still alive, but that shouldn't really mean all too much. Remember that we have the siege barrack on the opposite side and the miners going in. Making sure that we are getting funneling value from the Mecha and the wizards is always going to be extremely important, especially if those wizards are not being targeted by anything, so they can really help support on the back end of the base. So as we send everything in, even the witch can't really stop a lot of the miners, but they will make sure that their pathing is going to be a little bit more awkward, like you can see here. However, remember that the heal spells should be placed really where you can support your miners enough to the point where you can use either your Grand Warden's ability, or you can heal over them over those big areas where there's a lot of DPS, like right here for instance. That's a huge area, and you want to make sure that you are sort of getting through the base design with the miners, and even the hogs if they decide to go through with your attack. Now, not just that, but you also got to freeze, and just like what the attacker did here, he decided to use the freeze just to freeze up the Tesla and Archer towers, just to prevent the miners from dying, or at least thinning out as much from the base. So just make sure though that you are keeping that in mind, because sometimes there could be something that goes wrong and all of that. But dealing with a damage CC like this with a pure mass miner is going to be easy to deal with. So bringing in a golem is not a bad option for your miner attacks if you're in war or trophy pushing. I probably wouldn't use it for farming, but if you want to use it, feel free. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some Queen Walk mass miners with the Siege Barrack. So here we go, guys. We've got a Queen Walk mass miner. Now, when is this going to be extremely useful? Well, Queen Walk mass miner, very similar to a pure mass miner. Instead of using a Sui hero, you're going to be using a Queen Walk and also the Siege Barrack. So you're going to primarily use those two to get some sort of value from the outside of the base, and also to create the funnel. In this case, by looking at this base design here, it's a symmetrical base design, meaning that it does not matter where a queen walks. So that's what you want to do with this attack. You want to make sure that if you see that the base is symmetrical, you can let her walk whichever way, and whichever way she goes, that'll be the direction of your funnel, and that's about it. You can see that she walked in to this direction, allowing you to drop the siege barrack and then the miners to go into the base. And that's really about it with the Queen Walk mass miner. As long as you are getting some of that support from the Mecha and the wizards as they move in, that's what's really going to count. So as you're sending everything else in, the miners and probably the king if he decides to go in like you see in this example, having the miners go in with the hog riders as they move in towards those defenses. Like you see right here, they're probably going to move over to the multi-inferno, then they'll start moving in with the hogs where you can get a lot more value from. Even if the Grand Warden does miss his ability on the hogs, that's completely fine because they're meant for the miners more specifically. Now you notice that there was a freeze right on top of the loon. But the only reason why was because that balloon was going to target onto the miners that were stalling, meaning that it was better to use a poison and the freeze in order to kill it a lot quicker. So that is really all about this base, making sure that you're creating 2 funnels. You're making sure that you have a funnel here with the siege barrack and the other with the queen, so that then what you're able to do in the long haul is get through the rest of the base from the top with the miners. And that's about it with this. Miners are really good with cleanup, just like with anything. They hit any building at all. So this is still a really solid example of using miners with a queen walk and the siege barrack. So let's go and show you guys one more example of this being done. Now, in this example here, of course, we've got the queen walk, but you'll notice that this is not a symmetrical base. However, how are we going to choose where we are going to start our queen walk? Well, we want to take a look at this side with the infernos, primarily. This is a good spot to start our hogs from, or our miners from, as this area would allow us to get a lot more value from the miners, and also we have an easier way of creating the funnel here, and then also a funnel down here. And that's really going to help us a lot as we get through this base design. One of the biggest things that we want to make sure that we're doing is by creating the funnel on this side. Once we have a secure funnel here, we can then send in the siege barrack around in this area to create the other side of the funnel. Just make sure that you are being patient when you are creating this. So making sure that when you are taking a look at a base design, you want to make sure that you notice how they are designed. So you want to also have the king on the other side to create that funnel as well, since you don't want the queen or the healers to move on to your king. But once you've gotten the funnel set up, now it's a good time to make sure that you're sending everything in. Even though it is a Hound Archer CC, it still isn't going to mean all too much, as you should still be able to get through a large portion of the base design, even if it's a Hound. So just keep that in mind. But you did see how to deal with the damage CC, but if you wanted some other ways to deal with it, then probably maybe even try something like Electron or something like that. So just remember that as you're going through the base, healing up in spots where you can heal up either both the hogs and miners, or if you can heal over, a large amount of point defenses and or splash, those are always going to be critical points to heal over. Other than that, it's a very simple strategy. Let me know if you guys want to see some other minor variations, and I will definitely bring it to the channel. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, why not leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed the video, and feel free to go ahead and let me know on other strategies that you guys want to see here at Town Hall 11, Town Hall 12, or Town Hall 13. Also, feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord or follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Also, go ahead and, if you are looking to join any of the clans I'm covering, feel free to come and join any of the clans. Join their Discords. They're going to be all in the description below. And other than that, guys, that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.